Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Gum MVP back with my next Dark Souls 3 video, my next PvP video, and I think this is my fourth one in the series. Um, yeah, sorry guys, there was a little bit of a break there where I wasn't making making videos. I actually went down to Cleveland and visited someone and was gone there for about a week and a half, so I haven't really had a chance to play the game, but it doesn't mean I haven't been thinking about the game. Um, Watching a little bit of streams here and there, and little bits of downtime and stuff, and really thinking about the game sort of as a whole, thinking about the different weapons. And when I came back, I just wanted to play the game. You know, I didn't want to overcomplicate things. I didn't want to sit down and have a big training session where I was grinding and, you know, working on different weapons. I just wanted to play the game. So that's kind of what this video is about. Now you're gonna see majority of the video is actually Twin Prince Greatsword, which is probably my current favorite weapon. Uh, I just think that weapon has a lot of potential. Um, with the two weapon arts that kind of are interchangeable, you know, if you know anything about that. Now the problem is, and you'll see it here in a second. Right now, I'm just gonna open up this video with some quick Black Knight Glaive duels. Still a big fan of playing with the Black Knight Glaive. I think it's a great weapon, and with this build, I have a lot of I have really high AR. So, yeah, I really have high AR with this thing plus 10, and I have it refined, so it's pretty strong. And you know, these combos are pretty good. Especially because for some reason, like, the L2 just baits out so many people to come in, and they just always get smacked on that, like, either the end of the L2, or they'll get hit by the R2, which will come after, which is tricky. But here now, we're going to switch over to that weapon I was just talking about. So this weapon can be created by having two boss souls for the Twin Princes and making the Holy Sword and then Lorien's Great Sword, or whichever it is. I might be mixing those up, but basically you need to beat that boss twice, make both the boss weapons, and then the guy that you give the transpose and kill him to, he's gonna merge those two weapons together to form this. And what you saw right there, the laser beam, that is my favorite part about this build. I think it's so fun because so many people. This guy's a little laggy, so I'm going to try to basically bait him into a few things here, because I'm not really sure what he's going to want to commit to. So you're going to see me using a lot of those backstep R1s. That spin, it's going to let me put out a decent hitbox without committing to too much laggy frames at the end of it. So I'm a big fan of it. Also, the laser is really hard to approach in on because A, it comes out pretty quick. B, it comes back pretty fast, so I can usually roll away from danger. And C, it has a pretty wide hitbox. I think it catches a lot of people off guard where, you know, they'll get away from it because they're not in the center of the laser, but they'll barely catch the sides of it. Or a lot of people will try to roll through it, which isn't a bad idea. But it's definitely good. Now, I don't think you see me use it once. You might. I don't even know if I connect with it at all today. I think I might have connected it with it once. But the other weapon art, because it has the weapon arts from both the swords that you combine, the flame, it's like a flame strike where you just you set your weapon aflame and you do like a jumping slash type thing. I think that's pretty useless. It has a lot of startup, so you're kind of you're gonna have to really get lucky that your opponent's gonna commit to something really unsafe. You got to go for a read with it, or you just don't use it and you save your FP, which, you know, the sword, the laser sword attack is going to use quite a bit of FP, so you'll actually see me quite a few times just, you know, using my Ashen Estus Flask. That's just because I want to make sure that I'm always able to laser if I want to, which I think is really important. But anyways, yeah, so that's this weapon, and you're going to see me do a couple of interesting things with it, just as far as kind of trying to bait out with, again, backstep R1s. Two-handing the overhead attack is really nice. It puts out a good hitbox in front of you, especially if you're lasering these people and they're getting nervous, they're going to want to start approaching. The overhead slash that you're going to put out puts out a nice, kind of, I don't want to say safe hitbox because it is punishable. but it kind of puts out the hitbox right where you think they're gonna try to come in at you on. Right there, I got lucky. That second R1 was like way too overcommittal. But there's that overhead attack again, and I only caught him on the one there, but yeah, the overhead attack is pretty nice, and you can usually catch people without getting punished too hard. Uh, Now, the Black Knight Glaive is a weapon I particularly have trouble with this build on. And I think that's just because halberd range. Uh, like my greatsword can compete with halberd range, like as you're seeing. But the Black Knight halberd or Black Knight glaive, once it connects, you're just gonna eat so much damage, and it just seems to sort of melt me away. I think I lost to 2 Black Knight glaives, and I only fought a couple of them, but that guy I happened to overcome, and of course the reason I put that one in there because I had that sick laser combo at the end there, or about 3/4 through that fight. But alright, so here, just for old time's sake, I was playing with some red tilted halberd, and again, this is one of my favorite weapons, just because like, so many people are so afraid to approach. So you know what they'll do? They'll play very passive and defensive, just like this guy's doing. And you know what you can do with the red tilted halberd? Just keep putting out those very straightforward hitboxes. I don't even care that I'm spamming them. A, I've got perseverance, so I can hyper armor through things. B, I'm gonna watch him not commit to anything, unless he does commit to a bad parry, like right there where he gets backstabbed. But it's a pretty safe way to play with this weapon, and you just kind of watch your opponent run into the R1s. I don't think that it's very skilled. I don't think that I'm using the weapon appropriately or as efficiently as I possibly could, but that doesn't mean that I don't think it's good. And so I just have fun with it. Again, this video was made more of me just kind of chilling out. That's why it's mostly the Twin Prince's Greatsword, which is not, I don't think, a very super strong weapon. I think it's a good weapon. I think it has potential. I don't think it's like the end-all be-all. I think there's a lot better greatswords out there. But I think what makes it fun is oh, here's the fire slash. I thought I'd be able to connect right there, but it kind of looked like I did, didn't it? Alright, so right here, it's just, you watch people commit to unsafe swings, and you just circle around and get a backstab. And that's not something that, that's just a straight punish, That guy was trying to commit to something right there, because if that landed, I was dead, right? Like, that fume sword is so powerful. But that's just that guy just trying to go for a move that's just not safe, and me being able to punish it because I wasn't the one that hit the trigger, he was. I think that if you're going to play, ooh, that was pretty sick, huh? I think that if you're gonna play builds like that, where you're gonna put a lot of power into every one of your swings, like, you need to make them all count. And the more you just swing your sword, the more predictable and the more telegraphy you are with, I know where your hitbox is gonna be, and I'm just gonna circle around and get that backstab punish. But yeah, so we'll see. And again, you just see me using this laser so much. I think it's so good. It's definitely one of my favorite tools with this, probably in the whole game as far as weapon arts go, just because it's just so fun to use. I think there's a lot of different weapon arts that this game has included that really adds so much dynamic to the PvP. It seems like every single PvP duel you have with someone, if you don't give them your focus, you could die to any number of things, right? Like, think about all the twin blades. Think about all the weapons that have just like those nasty spinning L2 combos, like the Lucerne, the Halberd, the Black Knight Glaive, like all those weapons that can just combo into like more like like L2 to R2 combos that can almost guarantee like 1k plus damage. Not only does that make PvPing at this meta difficult if you're not willing to invest in vigor, which basically means that you have to invest in vigor at the soul level. But it just goes to show you that the soul series is constantly evolving, right? This game is a lot harder to get things like backstabs. While I think the game with the Kestis has made getting parries a lot easier. I still think that parrying in this game is a little bit harder, especially because Kestis parries aren't supposed to be free, right? Like, yeah, the Kestis parry startup frame comes out on what, frame 8? That doesn't make it free. Alright, anyways, I guess that was a little bit of a rambling, but thanks so much for watching. This was Gump MVP, and take care, guys.
So dance while I put you in